Ezra Mam's return, geez, he was good, but it wasn't enough to spark a win for the Broncos, and turned out to be another loss for them. And they had so many opportunities and they just couldn't get it done.
Given the pressure of last week and all the conversation about the fact that there may be some players not, clicking with Michael Maguire's coaching, and they were a team that at that point had lost 4 of their last 5 games. They had everything to play for. They were up against a side, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful towards the Dragons, but if you go through those 2 teams man on man, the Dragons aren't on the same park. Yet they've come back from trailing early. Brisbane had that great start where they got the try off the Mamford pass. They got away to a lead, and the Dragons just kept going with them and kept fighting them. And then when they lost Sewer to the sin bin, you're thinking there's no way in the world the Dragons can hold on here. They scored 2 tries when he's off the field. That was a critical moment. There's something wrong at the Broncos.
That was a big moment. I couldn't believe they went for the 2. I know they were up by 6 to go to 8, but they had 13 on 12. You just mentioned the team they've got, the artillery they've got. You saw the points they scored the last 5 or 10 minutes.
They lapped the Bulldogs a few weeks ago. Like, they're only
What
winning.
is wrong? You said something's wrong. What is wrong?
Well, look, it's obvious to everyone. The football they're playing, they're not working. They're not gelling. Like, you looked... Reynolds looked disorientated out there at times. There was one time where, I think they were a 5th tackle, and it was Haas and Carrigan get the ball, and Reynolds is... he's got his arms up in the air wondering what's going on. That last play in the game where they're trying to throw and Adam holds onto the ball for too long, DeBellin gets him from... It's just not gelling. Whatever's happening, we thought Madge is going up there this year and he's going to put steel into the Broncos. He's going to turn them into a hard team that Kevy could never do. Well, it hasn't worked. They're not playing better. They're playing worse.
Put the steel in. I think that's fairly clear and obvious. Having said that, I'm just still not prepared yet, gents, to kick more sand in Madge's face. I think the Broncos are off, but it's only a bees you-know-what. They're not going ordinary, but they're off the...
that game?
But it was 24-20.
Yeah, but they're playing a side that they should have lapped on. They can beat the Bulldogs 4 weeks ago.
I reckon they're 10 to 15% off their best. That's not a big gap to bring together in time.
What were they off last year? I'll just ask a question.
Well, I want to ask you one, Gordy.
Hold on, and they had more injuries, but now there's excuses. There shouldn't be excuses. There shouldn't be excuses. This is a premiership winning organisation.
It's a premiership winning
roster.
I don't think there are excuses. I watched that game. They just played dumb. So they didn't look unfit to me. They didn't look...
No, I don't think they were unfit.
They didn't look unfit. They didn't look like they weren't trying to me. They looked like they were trying. So there's 2 things to cancel out. But in terms of their execution, footy smarts, ability to build pressure and execute their plays, it couldn't be any worse. And they still got close. So I tend to agree with you. I don't think they're far away. I mean, yeah, they're playing the Dragons, but it's more psychological for me. You look at even their body language and you look at Adam Reynolds' facial expressions, they all look a little lost out there. I don't know what it is, but they're just not getting their game plan on. You can tell they're not executing or playing the way that they want or how Madge wants them to play. But it's not their fitness and it's not their lack of effort. It wasn't on the weekend.
That scrum-based try that Gutho scored, that was just lazy. That was someone...
That's footy IQ. That's what
I'm saying. Someone just switched off. Again, I'm just saying...
scored a try like that with the same coach against Melbourne in the grand final.
It was smart coaching, but it's hardly acceptable, is it? All I'm saying is, again, though...
scored one of those tries with the same coach against Melbourne in the grand final.
Well, they should have been ready for it. Again, I'm saying we're only about 15% off, but the little things are getting them down.
The thing, too, is that I don't think anyone is even alluding to the fact Maguire's under any pressure from his job security, because there's no way in the world the Broncos management are going to get rid of Michael Maguire when he's, the 4th coach in 6 or 7 years now.
Why are you smiling?
Since they got rid of... Well, they won't. They
can't, because
so they have to make this work.
Cooked up, right, and this is the guy that they wanted, right? Publicly listed company. They sack a guy on Thursday, they put him in on Friday. This is the guy they headhunted for the job. So they can't now, because there'll be egg on their face. And their jobs will be under pressure.
$1 million question, Gordy. Every Broncos fan wants to know, can Madge turn this around?
Absolutely. Look at the team. Yeah, well, look at the team he's got, right? It's just getting, like, Broncos have always been, let's get to Origin and get through Origin. and then the collateral damage, you sort of rest and try to get everybody mentally prepared for the finals too, right? Are they good enough to still be against Melbourne or Penrith or whoever makes a grand final? Absolutely. Do you write them off? No. Do you write them off?
No, I don't.
Ezra Mam comes back, Reece Walsh comes back. You think Reece and Ezra will have a combination a bit like Adam and that. But to me, just watching them live, they're missing a hard edge, and that's the back row. Like when they were at the grand final, Jordan Ricky was chasing, and he did it. Like to start the game, he was up and he was right in everybody's face in the kick chase. There's little moments in the game that they're all going, but they're not going together.
I'll tell you this, Madge won't change. He might alter his style ever so marginally, but I know Madge, he's hard, he's ruthless, and he's tough. And if they don't want to get on board, well, then they can leave. He won't change for the players. The players have to change for him.
I reckon he has to change.
Why are you laughing?
Well, he'll have to change because it's club footy.
But
So
Gordy,
look at
that's
the- no,
his
no, no, here you
style,
go.
and that's what they employed him for.
Well, look at the last club he coached. Don't look at rep footy.
But I'm not worried
'Cause
about
that's
his- I'm not worried about the
Don't look
Tigers,
at
I'm
rep
worried about
footy,
the-
right?
the
Because
Broncos
everybody talks
now.
about Melbourne and goes, oh, well, Queensland team coached itself, right? So we can't put that in there. The last club, if you don't change with the times, that's why Wayne Bennett is still successful.
Same at South too, Gordon. Same at South. You can't say that, dog. He has to change. He has to realise that things aren't working and make minor adjustments. That doesn't have to change who he is, but he has to make changes.